y'all, Farmer Dre back at it. I'm out here in the greenhouse and we are transplanting our last planting of tomatoes in these 4-inch pots. So let's go ahead and get to it. Like I said, we had these 4-inch pots getting filled here, and then I saw the veggie boys. They were doing this method where they start the seeds in the 512 seeds and they transplant them in these pots like this. And we tried it on our last planting and it worked out pretty good. So I've stole their method of doing things, and now that's what I'm doing. I got Dawson over there filling up pots, and then I'm just out here pulling them out of this 512 and plopping them in the dirt there, and just got the stick, putting them in there, and that's it. Varieties that we're doing now are Red Deuce. As most of you guys know, that's the main variety of tomatoes we grow. Red tomatoes we grow here on the farm. And of course we do the Carolina Gold as well. I've mentioned about growing a few other varieties. I've tried them last year. Just Red Deuce just do so well for us every single year. And especially in these tunnels we grow them in, they do pretty good for us. So there's no point of steering away from a variety that we know that works, people love, our customers love. Real flavorful, good eating, farm fresh grown red tomato. So you can't beat it. So yeah, all we're doing here is taking them out of the 5 cells here. 512s. 512 cells. Added the plants here and just kind of put them in here, and that's about it. Next year I believe I'm going to go in and I'm going to plant these in the 32 or the 50 cell. Not 50, 50 is too small. Maybe a 32 or 18. We'll see, because right now we're only fitting 15 plants per tray, so it takes up more room in the greenhouse. If I move to 32 cell count tray, I'm able to put a ton more plants in a tray. I'm going to double up this one, and then we need less space in the greenhouse to fill them up. So yep, always thinking new ideas, always thinking new plans, and trying to get it going. Hope these are the right route. These are Red Deuce. I don't want to be planting Carolina Golds and mistaking them. Even though we'll be planting them, it's just whenever you go through and pick, it's much easier to keep everything intact and in place whenever everything's the same variety down the same row. Even though we fertilize them all the same. Which I'm learning that different tomatoes require different fertilizers. So that's why whenever you grow your own tomatoes, it's very important to see and know what variety you're growing. You're asking yourself, why are you using a 4-inch pot? Well, the reason we are, because I bought a case of these way long ago, like maybe 3-4 years ago, and we have like 15 or 1600 of these, and I got to use them up somehow, so that's why we just transplant tomatoes in them. And yeah, whenever you're doing, so in this planting we have tomatoes for we have enough tomatoes for 2 plantings of tomatoes, 2 tunnels here, so we need 900 tomato plants. So for me to buy cells for 900 plants, you know, and when I can just have them for free, you know what I'm saying? So that's the reason we did these pots, even though it's kind of a pain because they're loose in the tray. It's not ideal, but we're just going to reuse these and that's it. So we have them. Cost me no money. Just like that. Super easy. Alrighty, I was the next morning after transplanting. So these went in the ground yesterday, and so far they're looking pretty solid. We water them, make sure they got plenty of moisture, and overall they're looking pretty good here. So there's a total of 835 or 40 plants in total. So like I mentioned, we got two varieties here, Red Deuce and Carolina Gold. That's the only varieties we're growing here on our farm this year. So mainly Red Deuce as a red slicing tomato. And we got the Carolina Gold, of course, as a yellow. Looking into yellow tomatoes and seeing what other growers are growing in this area, I started looking at the BHN 750 something, I believe. It's also another yellow tomato. We'll see how that turns out for a few farmers this year, and I might try a few rows of that next year, or a half row or something. We'll have to see about that, but I'm always trying to find a new great variety. But have you guys seen over the years that, you know, with Red Deuce, it's hard to beat. It's really hard to beat. So yeah, everything in here is looking pretty solid. But overall, you got to find a tomato variety that you're happy with, that works great for you, and just roll with it. I was going to irrigate these real quick for the morning and wet the greenhouse. Before we do that, I want to show you guys a fertilizer injector here. So we're running a 20 fertilizer in a bucket. We got a dosatron here in the greenhouse, the hydrant. So every single time we irrigate anything in this greenhouse, it gets fertilizer. Just because these plants are so small, we're trying to push them to the max capacity, trying to take advantage of you know, the sun and the heat that's in here. So if you're not feeding them fertilizer, then you're kind of lacking, and the plants aren't getting everything they need for the best success as possible. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things I got to hit on, is every single plant in here, every single time we water, gets a fertilizer injection. So this the ratio of this injector is 1 to 128. So it gets 1 ounce of fertilizer to 1 gallon of water that we pump out of here. And then the concentrate here is a pound of 20 or a pound and a half of 20 mixed in a 2-gallon bucket of water, and that concentration goes in here, and then it dilutes it to 1 to 128, and then out the hose. So off the hose, it's not as concentrated, just because it dilutes it down. With the Masley injectors, those you can adjust the concentrations as much as you want with the ball valve, but that's whenever you're irrigating tomatoes for production, or strawberry for production, that's where you would need that. But for the greenhouse, this right here works perfectly fine. But anyways, now we come through and water these. We have 2 different watering spigots. I like the yellow one, but this one's already connected, so I'm not going to do it. And you can hear the irrigation in the background, or that injector in the background. All we do is just hit them a couple times like this, back and forth, and that's about it. Super easy, just kind of get them soaked. And we might do this at, and the plants are still a little small. Now walk through here at midday and do this one more time, just to get them a good start going. But in reality, you really don't need to do this twice. Make sure you get the edges real nice, because the edges are the one that dries up the fastest. So yep, just like this. Gonna be it for today. Just a video of us showing you guys how we transplant and get these tomatoes ready for market, or ready for planting, and then we'll start harvesting tomatoes. Hopefully about a month or so, we'll be harvesting our first tomatoes out of number 1 here, and then we will move on. And yeah, the season is getting close to peaking here on the farm. Hopefully open for you pick strawberries this weekend, and then run it hard through strawberry season. From strawberry season, we go straight into the blackberry season, and we start harvesting tomatoes. And we got blueberries this year, and peaches. So I got to give you guys an update on the peach crop, how that's been looking. We got some nice peaches on our trees. And then, of course, we'll run through the apple crop. And I got a lot of plans with flowers and all kinds of good stuff for this season. But yeah, basically we're busy here on the farm. It's time to get going. We've done a lot of cleanup work, a lot of different changes for the U-pick operation. I'll take you guys along for the ride. But yeah, that's me it for today. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and check out FarmerDreSupply.com. That's where you guys are able to find all your gardening and greenhouse needs. That's where you're able to grow food just like Farmer Dre. So go ahead and check it out. Link is always in the description of all my videos. I want to say thanks for watching up to this point. If you guys haven't already, go and hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button if you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, hit that notification icon so you guys can be notified whenever I do upload a video. I want to say thanks for watching up to this point. Y'all have a good day, and we will see you next time.